Recently, I have been doing a lot more environment renders, and well, I used to do a lot of them. I have been trying to up my game when it comes to realism and making them feel alive. And a great way I've learned for making renders feel like a livable place is adding in animations when it comes to plants and little objects in the render. In this case, I have some outdoors environments, so I'm adding animations for the trees and plants to make it feel like there's wind going through, which overall helps the scene feel like it is a living, breathing place. Now, to break this down really simple, adding in or at least faking wind and movement for animation for small plants is very easy in Blender. If we have any sort of plant model here, this can work with photo scans, it can work with these pretty goofy little tree assets that I'm going to be posting on Patreon. We can give them a little bit of animation fairly easy with just basically one keyframe. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tab into edit mode over top of one of these, and I'm going to press O on the keyboard, which toggles proportional editing. You can see it up here. Now, there's options for this. You can do connected only, which when you take an edge and drag it, it will just drag it based on everything that's connected to that object, or you can turn that off, which will drag the whole plant. For this case, I want to keep connected only off, because then I can grab one of these edges, press R, and I can rotate it a little bit, or move it and then rotate it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to this plant's data tab over here on the side, and we'll see it has vertex groups, it has shape keys, and all this other stuff. But all we're going to worry about right now is shape keys. I'm going to add a new shape key. It's called the basis. And now I'm going to add another, which is going to say key one. I'm going to say this is going to be small movement. And I'm going to tab into edit mode and make sure that you are still selected that small movement shape key. And I'm going to press G so I can drag that selected edge. And if you scale on the mouse wheel, you can change the size of the soft selection for the proportional editing. So I'm going to make this kind of nice and big, drag this over a little bit, and rotate it down. I'm going to do the same over here. I'm going to grab one of these and pull this towards the direction that I pulled the other branch. Maybe do the same down here and the same over here. When I tap back out of edit mode, you'll see that all the changes we just made disappeared. Don't worry, they're still there. If you tab back into edit mode, they're there. If you tab back out, they're gone. And that's because all those changes are being stored within the small movement shape key. So you can see on the shape key, the value is 0. If we drag the value to 1, we're going to get that movement of the shape key that we just made. So I'm going to make another one of these. We'll call this, large movements. And I'm going to go in, I'm going to select the whole tree, and I'm just going to rotate it just a little bit and move it back so it's on its original axis. So we've got like a little bit of a wobble here throughout the whole tree. I'm going to add a keyframe for the large movement on the value. I'm going to add a keyframe for the small movement on the value. So we have 2 keyframes. And I'm going to grab the bar at the bottom here to slide up the timeline. So we have a little extra room. I'm going to go to where the little editor type icon is. I'm going to change it from timeline to graph editor. So again, we're changing from timeline to graph editor. And this basically is going to show better what the keyframes are and like what they're doing, basically. And I am going to add in over on the right here, the bottom right. I'm going to switch from F curve to modifier, and I'm going to select modifier here, and I'm going to go down and check noise. So this is going to add a noise modifier to that selected shape key, which you can see it going off here. And it looks really goofy. So I'm going to turn down the strength maybe just a little bit to 0.5. and I'm going to increase the scale quite a lot. So you'll see there's going to be a little bit of movement. I'm going to turn the scale maybe back down so we can see what it's doing. And I might tweak the strength back up to full 1. So now you can see we've got a bit of a jiggle animation going. Let's play with these sliders a little bit till this feels pretty natural. I think something like that feels okay. And it's janky, but we're going to copy this over by selecting this little copy up arrow right at the top of the modifier tab right here. And we're going to go to the other keyframe we have, and we're going to press the copy down or paste modifier, which will put this in. So now we'll have both. And I'm going to offset them just a little bit so they're doing something different. Now, this is in cycles, so it's going to look really, really questionable, but it will give plants and environments a lot of extra life. And I have been doing this for basically all of the plants I have been adding into my environments, and you can do it to different leveling degrees of, detail. This was a very quick job. Another benefit to this approach is it works great on non-manifold geometry, and so photo scans are one place where this is awesome because here I have this photo scan of some vines, and it's really janky. Shout out to Ian Hubert. I got this off his Patreon, and it's awesome for backgrounds and filling in for foliage, but it's a photo scan, so the geometry is non-manifolds. It's not even whole in some parts. Like, this geometry is very screwed up. Now, however, we can make a shape key, and we can make a new one. We'll call this, I don't know, vine movement, or something like that. I'm gonna tab into edit mode. I still have proportional editing on. I'm gonna select just like any face or edge or vertice, and I'm going to just drag them over with G. I'm going to mouse wheel up to increase the size of the proportional editing. I'm going to just rotate them a little bit so it feels a little more natural. So we've got like this kind of movement going on basically. I'm also going to change a bit up here just to try and make this look a little more natural. So I'm going to slide it over and kind of ease it into that movement just a bit like that. And then I'm going to add my shape key. Same old, same old. I'm going to go and select the shape key value here for the keyframe inside of the graph editor. And I'm going to go to modifiers, add a new modifier, noise. Like before, it's going crazy, so we're going to make this nice and big. Now, this technique is great for adding small animations. However, you may notice one setback, which is that, the vines bends and it looks smooth when it's bending, but then it just stops. It just stops as soon as, the line here, which is the noise on the keyframe, passes 0. So how we can combat that and make it feel smoother and more fluid is on the range minimum for the vine movement shape key. We can change this to -1. So what that'll allow now is for the value to swing both directions, which will make it so our vine can go past 0 and will give it that like free-flowing feeling just a bit more. So that will help with, making it really feel like there's something affecting this. And so now we have like a full like fluid motion going on that vine. It's going past 0 down to -1, back up to 1, and you have that full fluid follow through of the motion. And this gets great for like when you're populating like a lot of these. I recommend, taking them, duplicating some of them, and then offsetting the motion so that you have a wider range of animations, so it doesn't all feel copy paste. You have some of them swinging at different times, and it's a great way to randomize and just get that little bit of natural movement going to really emphasize that this isn't just like a still image, this is a render animation.